Hey boys and girls, I wanted to share a story with you again today. So I chose a book called, can you see it? The Perfect Place for an Elf Owl. And this book was written by first and second graders. You guys are second grade, almost third graders. And I want you to think about the kids that wrote this book while I read the story to you. Not only did they write the story, but they did all of the artwork in the book, and they worked collectively together. And here's a picture of the class of all the students who participated in writing this book and putting it together, illustrating it with the wonderful art that they did. They used a lot of different art techniques, like they tore paper and made like a collage kind of paper art. They put different things like for example, in this picture, those are guinea feathers. And some of you might remember that I have a pair of earrings made out of guinea feathers. I should have worn it for this reading, but I didn't think about it. But they had color through crayon, pastel crayons. They've used paint. They've cut out construction paper and used geometric shapes that you can see here to create all the different parts of the story art. So while I'm reading the story to you, I want you to look at the art as well as listen to the storyline, because they've been very creative in telling us about the perfect place for an elf owl. One windy night in the desert, Mama Elf Owl went out in search of dinner for her babies. The youngest elf owl missed his mama and left his nest to find her. There she goes to get dinner, and he's sitting there thinking, I miss my mommy. A gust of wind blew him away. He tumbled into the tundra. The owlet asked a snowy owl, Is this my home? And the snowy owl turned its head and said, The tundra is no place for an elf owl. And just then, the wind blew again. There's the snowy owl with him in the tundra. The owlet fell into the forest, and he asked a spotted owl, Is this my home? The spotted owl blinked his eyes and he said, The forest is no place for an elf owl. The wind blew again, and the owlet bumped into a barn. And he asked the barn owl chicks, Is this my home? And the barn owl chicks screeched, A barn is no place for an elf owl. And there he is in the barn. And those are the barn owls, the chicks. So they're babies too. A strong breeze blew. The owlet bounced into a burreel forest, and he asked the burreel owl, Is this my home? And the burreel owl said, A burreel forest is no place for an elf owl. The wind puffed and the owlet ended up underground. And he asked a burrowing owl, Is this my home? And the burrowing owl looked through the darkness and he said, A burrow is no place for an elf owl. The wind blasted the owlet slipped into a swamp. He asked a barred owl, "Is this my home?" And the barred owl hooted, "The swamp is no place for an elf owl." He's all over the place, isn't he? A gentle breeze drifted and the owlet jumped into the jungle. He asked a speckled owl, "Is this my home?" And the speckled owl peeked through his feathery glasses and he said, "The jungle is no place for an elf owl." The air burst into wind and the wind dropped the owlet into the desert. Goodness. He asked the mama elf owl, "Is this my home?" "Why, yes," said the mama owl. "And you're late for dinner. And you're late for snuggling." So the owlet snuggled up into the saguaro cactus. He was home and he was happy. And there's his mama. And there he is. Gonna snuggle up with her. And that's the end of the story. He finally made it home into the desert, is where the elf owl resides. That's where he lives. And these are some pictures of the students while they're working on their story and their artwork for this book. Again, they are first and second graders, and they live in Alexandria, Virginia. And they put this book together at school as part of their language arts and writing curriculum. And they submitted it to the Scholastic Company, who every year they select a couple of different ones they will select. I think one is a fiction and one's a nonfiction. But they will select from several entries, and if you're interested in writing a book of your own, they do publish children authors. And now these children, this book, the money goes to their school every year for all the sales. So like when I bought this book at the book fair, the part of the money that I paid for this book goes back to that elementary school. The name of the school is Anthony T. Lane Elementary School in Alexandria, Virginia. So if you guys want to think about writing a book, I would love to talk to you about it. That'd be pretty snazzy and awesome if we could publish our own stories. Or you can do that on your own, and I would love to help you. All right, you have a great day, okay? See you soon, I hope.